This video is an uncut interview from Goliath, documenting a giant.
Okay, I'm here with Hank Salemi, president of Six Flags Great America.
Hi Nick, welcome to Six Flags.
Thank you. What does this mean to Six Flags Great America to have this type of ride?
You know, the innovation in this ride is incredible. So it really takes us to the next level. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but by putting in this ride, we have more wooden roller coaster track than any other park in the world. So it just adds to our arsenal of incredible coasters, especially our incredible wooden coasters like American Eagle and Viper and Little Dipper. It's just another one to hang our hats on. And we're known for innovation. We're known for unique rides, for firsts in the industry, and now we have the biggest, tallest, fastest wooden roller coaster in the world.
Awesome. Can you explain to me the history of this site that Goliath is located?
Yeah, you know, we had our coaster, the Iron Wolf, was here most recently, and you know, when we were deciding what to do with this site, when the Iron Wolf coaster actually went to our sister park in Maryland, it takes a very unique design. It takes a very unique coaster to fit into that area. There's our railroad tracks are back there. It's kind of a long, skinny space. And when we were looking for things to do, we wanted to put the most thrilling ride possible in the space that we had, and we utilized the old Iron Wolf station, and we were able to do it. And I think we just hit a home run with Goliath.
Can you explain to me some of the construction challenges that you guys faced while building this ride?
I think our construction challenges were just challenges that everybody in this area had over the winter, and it was just really a very severe winter. And we all remember, you know, a lot of below zero temperatures and almost 70 inches of snow. And when you're trying to do any kind of construction project in those conditions, it was very difficult. I give a lot of credit to our team and the Rocky Mountain team who were here, just really braving what was one of the worst winters in the history of the Chicagoland and Milwaukee area.
Now, earlier you said that when you were looking for this area, can you mention some of the options that you guys were looking at for this area?
Well, you know, we look at all kinds of different options for all over the park. It wasn't just about this area. We put together a 5-year plan to take a look at what our guests really want to see. You know, we talk to our guests and we try to do a balance of thrill rides and family rides, and try to make it as you know, for what we can afford and what we can do, and for the area that we have. We're very landlocked at Six Flags Great America. You know, there's not a lot of empty space left for us to build on anymore. So when we take a very careful look at the open areas that we have and make the best decisions for what our guests really want, and that's what we did here as well.
Okay. When you guys were figuring out the layout for Goliath, did you guys go to Rocky Mountain Construction, or did they come to you about the ride?
It's a little bit of both. You know, we work collaboratively with the coaster manufacturers, and you know, their engineers, our engineers work on it together. Our park designer works on it for what makes the most sense. So we worked together and came up with the design for Goliath, and I think, greatly utilized the space that we have for the ride.
Okay. So were there any points in any of the process of deciding this ride where you guys just had that aha moment, maybe this would be better than this, and then everyone thought that would be better? Or?
I don't know if there was an aha moment. I tell you, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of work coming up with what we think is really the best things for us to do. So, you know, you've got a huge lift. You've got, you know, dropping into a 15-foot crevice, which makes it, you know, the tallest wooden roller coaster in the world. That allowed it to pick up the kind of speed that it has, and you know, adding those inversions was just something that we decided was just going to be 2 extra elements of thrills on this ride. Huge innovation, and really something that we worked very, very hard on in coming up with the final design and final construction.
Okay, so I see Goliath is the name you guys chose.
Yes.
Were there any other names you guys considered, and do you remember any of those names?
Well, there's a wide variety of names that we brainstorm on. We do it here locally. We do it with our corporate marketing team. We get together and then we test those names. And we'll go to our guests and say, what do you think about this name? What do you think about that name? So I don't, off the top of my head, remember any specifically of other names, but I will tell you, Goliath really speaks to what this coaster is, and our guests really, really liked it when we tested it. So the combination of those 2 things made it an easy choice.
Are you also able to explain why you guys went with an all-steel lift structure? Or the ride?
I think it's the unique design. It really allowed us, as you can tell, coming over that second inversion or coming through that second inversion, to have nothing underneath. So when you're there and you're coming through that second and there's no wood or no steel structure below you, it just gives it another incredible element, another incredible feel.
Okay, and how does this announcement and this ride compare to 2 years ago with this one?
You know, they're both great rides, and you know, it's a very different coaster. It's obviously a different coaster manufacturer, a very different experience. You know, you've got that smoothness of X-Flight, that you know, the inversions, the fly-throughs associated with it. It's a B&M, you know, which is a tremendous coaster, and then you've got this, you know, very unique experience. It's a wood coaster. It does some things that wood coasters have never done in the history of building these rides. So, you know, they're both great coasters that add to our arsenal of terrific thrill rides.
Also, can you explain to me some of the other things that were added this year for, like, not just Goliath, but just around the park?
Sure. Yeah, you bet. You know, the area that we're standing in, there were a number of improvements that took place here. There's a snack stand called Wolf's Den that's now been replaced for a brand new snack cart that's there. We've added a new walk-through retail shop called Thrill Seekers, which is you come off the ride, you'll exit through that shop. We made some improvements to our Johnny Rockets on this side of the park, as well as some improvements to our funnel cake location on this side of the park. One of the major things that we've also done is biometric entry, where you leave a finger scan for us, and that identifies you with your season pass. So we've done a number of things around the park, and you know, improvements will just keep on coming. Excellent.
Are you also able to tell me, like, some of the, like, big key moments in this coaster's, like, action and construction, like train unveilings, groundbreaking ceremonies, stuff like that?
Everything's been great. You know, back in September, I think it was, we made the announcement that we were going to be building Goliath, and we did a groundbreaking ceremony on the grounds where it stands right now. And then we've done a number of things. We've done you know, No Coaster Con. We did a golden boat ceremony. We did the topping off of the ride. So we've done a number of milestone events in the construction of the coaster, really culminating with tomorrow, the grand opening of the general public on Thursday.
And are you able to tell me where the golden boat is located on the ride?
I don't know. That's a great question. I'll find out for you. I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay. And where does the park go from here? Obviously, you guys have Raging Cajun spot open, multiple, like, other things, you guys, opportunities to do things. Where do you guys go from here after having really good roller coaster 2 years ago, show and backwards coaster last year? This triple world record right now.
Well, Nick, you know me better to know I'm not going to reveal any secrets, right? But we are absolutely going to do one thing, I promise you that, is we're going to talk to our guests. And we're going to find out what our guests really want to see, and we're going to do our very best to deliver. So where we're going to go from here is to continue to add the most exciting shows and rides and attractions we possibly can, really letting our guests tell us what they want to see, and we're going to do our best to deliver on it.
Are you also able to explain, I know Ignite did come back this year, but can you explain some of the show content that is going to be?
You bet. You know, our parade is back, the grand finale, closing the park every night, really now and through mid-August. And then Revolution is in the Grand Music Hall this year, and a number of your favorites are back. The Country Music Show, Kick It Up, in the Snowshoe Tap House, as well as our Gunfight Show. The Drumline is back. Our Quartet is back in Hometown Square, so a lot of show products out in the park. Of course, our favorites, the Looney Tune characters, will be back this year as well.
And how do you know this ride is going to be a success? Will it be based on the turnstiles, or will it be based on how long the line will be?
I don't know how long the line will be. I think it's really two ways that will determine that. Of course, you want it to drive business. That's why, you know, we're a business, and you want new rides and new attractions when you're investing in them to do a good job in really delivering those kind of attendance numbers. But you also obviously are going to be talking to your guests and talking to people who've ridden it, so they can tell us what they think about it. So both really, but guest satisfaction as well as you know, turnstile clicks.
Have you got the chance to ride the ride yet?
Yes, it's incredible. Yeah.
What's your review about it?
It's fantastic, fantastic ride. Yeah, it's you know, I think it's one of the best rides in the park.
Do you have your favorite elements?
The drop. The drop.
And how does this compare to Raging Bull?
Well, it's a different ride. You know, Raging Bull's a very unique experience. It's a little bit taller. It's not quite as steep as Goliath is. Basically around the same speeds. I think they're going to generate the same speeds down the first lift. But Raging Bull has other different elements. Obviously, there's no inversions in Raging Bull and so on and so forth. So I think it's just a completely different ride.
Also, a couple more things. Are you also able to explain to me, so how will the train station be modified, or how will the train tracks be changed to accommodate Goliath?
Yeah, it's expanded. You know, it was just a longer train than the Iron Wolf train, which is when the station was built, or before the station was built. So it had to be expanded, it had to be widened a little bit, and obviously it's gotten a little bit of a facelift as well.
And can you explain about the fire that went on the station?
Yeah. It was a very minor fire. It made a lot of news, but it was simply, there was nothing electrical, nothing from inside of the station. Something like, there was a lot of construction going on at the time, and we think it was most likely something that just ignited the wood shingles on top of the ridge. So it was put out very, very quickly by our team, and then when Gurney Fire Department investigated, it was deemed as just a little minor fire on the ridge. It didn't delay construction in any way.
Now I see speakers on the ride. Will there be any on-ride audio as you're coming up the lift?
That's right. No, not on-ride audio, but station audio. So that's what you're seeing. And then there'll be. I don't think you'll be able to hear anything as you're on the ride itself. There's no onboard music or onboard audio. I have time for one more question.
Okay. For the Fairgrounds Junction station, was there any conversion that you had to do to the station itself, or?
No, not at all. Nothing to the station. We are actually going to be running round trips on the railroad this year. We actually think in the first year that the queue line for Goliath may extend over into that area. So we're only going to be running round trips starting July 4th. We have to get the railroad tracks back in shape for it to run, and then we'll be running round trips from Hometown Square Station starting July 4th.
Okay, thank you, Hank.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys coming out.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.